Hi YouTube family, welcome to Peggy Joe's Kitchen and welcome to my channel. I hope everybody's doing well today. Today I'm going to be baking an almond joy cake and I'm going to show you the ingredients as I go along. This cake is very, very delicious and very rich. You'll want to try this one. So stay tuned and follow along. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and beat up my egg whites. So I have 5 egg whites that I've separated from the yolks. So we're going to beat the egg whites until they're a stiff peak. Let's go ahead and pour those in. And make sure your bowl is clean and dry. So it's going to take a little while to get those to a stiff peak. So I'll bring you back. And this is what they're looking like. We still have a ways to go. Okay, this is what I have so far, but I'm going to go ahead and beat them just a little bit more. Let's go ahead and beat it some more. Okay, so they're ready. What I'm going to do, I'm going to transfer them into this bowl here, and it's a cold stainless steel bowl as well. And I'm going to put the egg whites in the refrigerator until it's time for us to fold them into the cake batter. Let's go ahead and transfer. It's like a cloud. Okay, I'll bring you back when I'm ready to start mixing the cake. Okay, YouTube family. So the ingredients that I'm going to be using will be 1 cup of softened butter, and that's 2 sticks. And I'm using 5 large eggs, and we're going to separate them like I did. And then you will need 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of coconut flavor, and this is just for the cake part. We'll talk about the topping, the icing later. And I'm going to use a couple drops of the cream bouquet. All right, so I have 2½ cups of sifted flour, and I put 1/4 teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of baking soda. And then I sifted it and I remeasured it. And we'll need 2 cups of white granulated sugar. And here are my 5 egg yolks. And we're going to be using 1 1/3 cup of whole buttermilk. And my buttermilk, I let it sit out for a little bit so it wouldn't be really, really cold. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and put our softened butter into the bowl. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is put your sugar, because we're going to cream the sugar and the butter and your egg yolks. So we're going to go ahead and drop all of those down in there. All right. Let's go ahead and get those beat up. And we want to cream it until it's nice and fluffy. And let's turn it off for a minute. In this little ramekin, what I did was I put all of my flavorings into this ramekin so that I can just dump it all in at one time. That's just a little tip that I do. I'm going to go ahead and put my flavoring in. And I'm gonna stop it every so often and scrape the bowl down. All right, let's go ahead and scrape our bowl down again. Oh, this smells so good. And you don't have to use cream bouquet. That's just one of the ingredients that I like to use. And I scrape my bowl down again. And what I did this time, I took the bowl completely off so I could scrape it down really good. Let's go ahead and keep mixing. Okay, let's go ahead and scrape it down. And we're going to go ahead and start putting our other ingredients in. And what I'm going to do, instead of mixing it, I'm going to mix it with a spoon, because I'm going to start to incorporate my flour and my my buttermilk. And I don't want my flour, if I over mix it, it will make the cake tough. So I'm going to go ahead and just mix it together with a spoon. Okay, so I'm going to alternate. I'm going to put my flour, start with my flour and end with my flour. So I'm going to alternate my flour and my buttermilk. And I'm going to mix it, like I said, by hand with my spatula. So let's go ahead and put some of our flour in. Okay. Start mixing that in. Go ahead and put some buttermilk. that in. And what's going to make this cake really nice and fluffy is going to be our egg whites. And they're in the refrigerator, chilling. Okay, let's go ahead and put some more flour. Let's go ahead and mix that in. Okay, more buttermilk. And it really looks kind of thick right now, but once I put all the rest of the buttermilk and then fold the egg whites in, it's gonna thin it out some. And I have my oven preheating on 325. Okay, let's go ahead and put some more buttermilk. We'll go ahead and put the rest of the buttermilk. And get that mixed in, and then we'll finish up with our flour. Okay, we're going to put the remainder of our flour in. Let's get it stirred in really good, and then we'll go ahead and incorporate our egg whites. Okay, so this is what it's looking like after I put all my buttermilk and all of my flour. So I'm just gonna mix it up by hand, mix it up really good. And once I put my egg whites in, I'm going to fold those in, and then I'm gonna go ahead and just mix it with the mixer, just to make sure that I have everything mixed up. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and start folding the egg whites in. All right. So you can just go ahead and dump them all in at one time. And then start folding. Bring you back when that's mixed. And we're almost there. Mixing the egg whites in. And if you still see some egg whites, it's okay. Just make sure you mix it in as much as you can. And we're still folding. All right. Okay, I said I was going to go ahead and beat it for about a minute with the mixer, but I really don't need to. It was pretty thin, so it's all mixed in. And now I have 9 by 13 pan, and I've buttered and greased and floured it. Let's go ahead and put our batter in. And you can use a bigger pan if you like. Your cake will just be a little bit thinner. And as long as you get your toothpick and test it, make sure it's done on the inside. Okay, let's go ahead and get it all in there. And while the cake is baking, we'll go ahead and start working on our topping, our frosting, or icing, should I say. All right, so let's give it a good shake. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put it in the 325 degree oven, and I'm going to bake it probably for an hour because this is a smaller pan. Normally I would use a slightly larger pan, but we're going to test it. Okay, so the cake is done, and I baked it for 50 minutes, 325 degrees. Now we'll get started on our coconut mixture, and then we'll do our chocolate and almond mixture. Okay, so we're going to use our food processor to mix up the coconut. Let's go ahead and put our coconut in. And what we're going to do here is just kind of make the coconut flakes a little bit more smaller. Okay. And so that was, let's see how much. That was 7 ounces of coconut. And we're going to use a 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. And then we'll put a 1/2 teaspoon of pure vanilla. And I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla butter and nut flavoring. And this one is really potent, so you don't really need a lot of that. Okay. And now we'll add a 1/2 cup of almond milk. Let's go ahead and get this mixed up. And we'll just mix it just a little bit. I'm going to pulse it a couple times. All right, let's see. Okay, let's mix it up. That's tasty. Mix it up just a little bit more. All right. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put our coconut mixture on the top of the cake. And the moisture that's in this will seep down into the cake. Let's get that spread out as good as you can. And I should have used a 15 by 10 inch pan, but I didn't. So what I did was turn my cake out into a larger pan so that I'll have enough room to put my coconut and chocolate and almonds on top. So I won't make that mistake again. But it's going to work. It was pretty easy to flip it out. You make sure that you grease it good and flour it. And some of the coconut and everything will just fall down on the side, and that'll be fine. I've only made this cake one time. Well, I made it twice before. I think the first time I made it came out perfect. Second time, not as good. Hopefully this time it'll be spot on. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is pile your almonds on top. And I'm using 7 ounces of sliced almonds. Okay, so I have my almonds on. I'm just going to kind of pack them down in there a little bit. I can't wait to taste this cake. My mouth is watering for it. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and make our chocolate icing. Go ahead and let this pot heat up a little bit, saucepan. And once that heats up, then we'll go ahead and put in 3 tablespoons of butter. And I'm using salted butter. Okay, so let's go ahead and put in our butter, get that melted. Okay, go ahead and get it melted up good. And then once the butter is melted, then we'll go in with our 6 squares of the semi-sweet chocolate. The baker's chocolate. Go ahead and drop those in. All right. Let's get that all melted up. Turn the heat down. All right. So the butter and the chocolate is melted. And now you want to go ahead and put your powdered sugar. Let's put a little bit at a time. Let's go ahead and turn that off. And then we'll put some buttermilk. Go ahead and put the rest of it. So that's 2 cups of powdered sugar. And I may have to get the hand mixer out to mix this up once it's all incorporated, because we want to make sure that it's good and smooth. Okay, so let's go ahead and put 1/4 teaspoon of coconut flavoring. Oh, that smells so good. Let's see if I can get it smoothed out enough to where I don't have to pull out my mixer. No, I want it really smooth, so I'm going to get my mixer. Okay, so it's nice and smooth, and I put a tablespoon of light corn syrup in it as well. And this is what you want. You want a nice, smooth, pourable icing. You want to be able to pour it over the almonds. And it'll set up some where it won't be as runny. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the cake ready to ice. All right, let's go ahead and pour it on. All right, let's finish putting the rest on. Okay, let's go ahead and cut us a corner off of here. Let's see what we got. Well, this is going to be moist. And boy, this is going to be really good. It's really moist. See how soft it is? It's time to taste test. Okay, the moment of truth. This is very moist. Wow. This is so good. Let's get another piece. And it's still warm. And I think it's going to be even better tomorrow. If you like Almond Joy candy bars, you'll love this cake. I got to get me some ice water or something. But anyway, go ahead and end this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time something comes out of Peggy Jo's kitchen. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good night. Bye.